Dear listeners, in the second portion of the Torah that we read this Shabbos, the Torah begins with the words, Im b'chokoisai teilechu, if you will walk in my laws. It's a very strange expression. We know we can perform laws, observe them, respect them, but what is meant by the expression walk in the laws? How do you walk in laws? In addition, the expression, the passage walking in laws seems to be redundant in this pasuk, because the Torah continues, Ves mitzvosai ta'asu, you'll do my commandments. As mitzvosai tishmoru, you will observe my commandments. Ta'asu nosan, and you'll do them. So the chokoisai telechu, besides being difficult to understand, seems to be totally redundant, because the Torah speaks in the same pasuk about the observance of mitzvahs. I remember when I was years ago in the yeshiva, I remember that there were several students who learned in yeshiva for years. They followed the lessons and they observed the hours of study, and yet there remained very little progress. They stayed always at the same level. While there were other students who seemed to make impressive advances every few months. And the difference was that the first students, even though they followed the schedule punctuously, but they were lacking in enthusiasm. They learned without impetus, without fervor. It was just a routine kind of learning. While the other students, those who made progress, learned with the enthusiasm and with devotion, and therefore they made a very impressive progress in relatively short time. So in order to be successful in this Jewish spiritual life, it's necessary not to be stagnant, not to be stationary, but to advance in life, to make progress. That's what the Torah means in b'chokoisai teilechu. A first condition for obtaining the blessings of the Rabbi Shalom is teilechu. Teilechu implies walking, not remaining stagnant on one place, but advancing, constantly advancing, and only by advancing can one be successful in Torah life. We know that there are many thriving Jewish communities who lost the battle against assimilation and were not able to overcome the negative influence of environment, because they were engaged simply in defensive measures and did not take the offensive to protect the Yiddishkeit of their families and of their children. In order to win a war, it's necessary for the general to use offensive, to go on the offensive, because the defensive is not enough, not sufficient to win the battle. Only offensive approach makes it possible to win the battle. That's why the Torah emphasizes in b'chokoisai teilechu. We have to go ahead and move ahead with fervor and with enthusiasm in order to be able to deserve the blessings of the Rabbi Shalom.